Okay, good evening, good evening. Welcome to this evening's masterclass. I am Coach T, and this evening we're going to be talking about the action tracker and breaking it down in all of the pieces. Okay, so first of all, Stress Awareness Month. So, Stress Awareness Month is the month of April. And the way that I am choosing to tackle it is by way of how do we mitigate it? How do we avoid it? How do we manage it? Not necessarily, the things that we can find out on Google, which is, definitions of stress and how it can affect us and things like that. What are we doing about it, especially in our everyday lives? That's really what I want to talk about. And that's what this action tracker comes from, because it really helps us to take stress awareness and move it to stress management when we're really focusing on the actions that we're taking that allow us to move forward in the things that we want to do. Okay. So tonight we're going to get into it. Tonight we're going to actually talk about how do we stay aligned with our goals so that we are managing and using that to manage our stress and to navigate it in a different way, a way that we're not usually focused on. Usually when we're focused on the stress, it's very, very difficult to also focus on managing it through it and getting things done. And in this time, and so especially if you don't have a plan, if you don't have it written out somewhere, right? And so that's what this is. That's what this period of time is. It's just to make sure that we do just that. We break it down, we have a plan, and we have it all in one place, okay? One place, so that we can go to it on a daily basis and check ourselves if we choose to do so, okay? So the first thing is, let me share my screen and then we'll get into it. One moment. Okay, so, okay. You should now be able to see my screen, which is the habits and goals tracker. So if you don't already have this, this is a downloadable action item that I can give you and that I have given you to download and actually use this in your own life. Okay. And so if you have not, make sure that you download the spreadsheet and start to use it, because that's what we're going to be working on and working through today. Okay. So, first, okay. So what you see in front of you is an example of a habits and goals tracker completely filled out. Okay. And we're going to kind of navigate back and forward just to show you exactly how to complete this for yourself. So the first thing I want you to realize is that before any of this can ever happen, you have to have an overall, just kind of annual idea of what you want for your life, right? And so I like to splice it into a few different areas. If you just have one or two main goals that you're focusing on, I respect that too. So it all just depends on, who you are and what you do. But this really just kind of, breaks it down regardless of what your goal is. It really breaks it down regardless, okay? And so, that's the first thing. What's your annual goal, right? What's your goal for this year? And so, if it is to make an extra, $500,000 in my business or to lose 20 pounds, right? Then, you go to, lifestyle, fitness, health, lose 20 pounds here, you'll go to finances and investment and create that, right? Make an additional $500,000 this year. And so you'll start to track it, right? Where it's in progress or what have you in Q1, and you actually start to track it in complete in progress, where you're, what you pay attention to grows. We know that, right? And so the way that we track it then, right, these annual goals, the things that we start with, the things that, whether we're doing it at the beginning of the year or whether this, right, is not necessarily, don't think of it as 12 months, whatever your annual is. I know someone like me, my annual is, 3 months. And so whatever that goal is, put it in that. That's completely fine, right? Think of it as relative to you and your situation. But I do want you to realize that this is something that you can do. Okay. So The annual goal tracker is the first thing that I would start with. That is, what is the main goal here for this year? What do I want to accomplish? What are the main things? And then I just go ahead and divide it into those things, okay? From that point, right, what we're going to get is a quarterly tracker, right? And so the things that we are tracking in this goal for the year, right, it breaks down into okay, so every quarter, what are we tracking? What are we tracking every quarter? Okay. And so that's where this comes in at. The quarterly goes, the top 5 quarterly goes for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. All right. And what's the outcome? You're tracking it. Once again, incomplete, in progress, right? Not started. You are tracking yourself. All right. Okay, and so what that actually looks like is here in the example, where your top 5 quarterly goals, okay, which as you see, everything is driven from those yearly goals. Yearly goals, I think it was, extra $500,000 in a year and losing 20 pounds, right? And so everything is driven from that. And so everything should be based off of the question of, right, well, how do I meet that goal? What do I do to get that goal, right? And so now my quarterly goals, I've got 4 separate quarters to do this. And now my quarterly goals are all aligned with those things in mind, right? And so if I'm looking to make an extra $500,000 in my business in this year, and I'm doing it within, the things that I am already doing, then this is probably a really, really good example, okay? And so first thing I say I want to do in a quarter is teach a group program, right? I say I want to add 100 new community members. I want to gain 4 new clients, right? I want to speak at 3 new speaking engagements and host 1 live event. Okay, so I've named 5 things there. I've named 5 things, okay? And those are all 5 things that are revenue generating things that will allow me to meet that goal, right? Meet that goal of, getting that $500,000, 500,000, all right? And so, as you see in here, now from the quarterly, I've broken it down to, okay, in Q1, I've got 3 separate months, okay? And those months, okay, and those days, I'm sorry, in those weeks, in those months, right? What am I doing? Okay, that's where it really drills down. And so that's where it drills down to, okay, from week to week, what am I doing? On Tuesday, right? From the day to day inside of that week, what are the top 5 things that I'm doing, right? On a daily basis, right? On Tuesday, what are the top 5 things that I'm doing on Wednesday based on these goals that I have? What top 5 things am I doing? Okay. And so from the example, what that looks like is, okay, so today's top 5, I've got it in here, right? It drilled in from my quarterlies, right? And once again, these are all examples. You're putting yours in based on your quarterlies, right? If your quarterly says, okay, well, if I want to make $500,000 in a year, then I figure that, 4 divided into 4, that's 125, right? And so what can I do to make 125 or more in my business this quarter? That's that driving question, right? And, based on that, what do I need to be doing on a daily basis to get this thing going, right? And so I've drilled down those questions and now I've got my answers. These aren't unintentional answers. You feel that? These are very intentional answers based on the revenue generating actions that you said that you need to take in order to meet your goal that you planned. Okay, so we've just reverse engineered this thing, we've broken it down, and we've said these are the actions that we need to take in order to make sure that we're meeting our goal, right? And so listen, these are the actions, but that is just in the middle, okay? As you see, that's only one part of our day. We're not actioning all day. So we're waking up, we got to pour into us, right? We've got to pour into us. So as you see, we've got a morning routine there. Whatever you choose your morning routine to be, okay? So this is what you should know. If you're looking to be a high driving, high flying person and you are not starting your day out with pouring into you, you are going to burn out really, really quickly. So create a habit, make it a habit, keep it a habit. Okay. So wake up. If you've got to wake up at 4 o'clock, I don't care. And if you can't wake up at 4 o'clock every day, then make it twice a week, right? It doesn't matter the frequency, it just matters the effort here and the intentionality and the habits that are created from it. Okay. But the point is, wake up by 6. Okay, how many days a week did you accomplish that? Right? Is that the total? One? Did you just do it one? Dang, did you snooze it? Okay. Whatever you track will get better. Okay. It will get better. It will improve. Okay. Read 10 pages. Okay. I've got a book tracker in here in the back. Just a really, really generic book tracker, but listen, it works, right? When you read it, probably should probably say date, but you got it. The title of the book, the author, the rating, some notes, right? It's a spreadsheet tracker, so you can edit it as you will. But there is something in there regarding those books, right? Read 10 pages. Start your day off with a vegan or green smoothie, whatever your thing is, right? Affirmations. For me, I like to do my affirmations and the thoughts and what I pour into myself while I brush my teeth, right? Because I know I'm going to have that few minutes where I'm just going at it and it's something repetitive and I am repeating these things, the same things over and over. And so at this point, it has become the meditation, right? And then, the workout, right? Whatever your body movement option of choice, exercise option of choice is, no problem. But the fact that you're doing it, that's the habit. Listen, it's not the point to do it 5 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever it is that you chose. And so if you chose to work out 3 days a week, and if your total is 2, then damn it, that's a pretty good percentage out of 3, right? And so I want you to make sure that you're being realistic. If you said you're going to do your affirmations every single day, then yeah, that 2 may not look as good, and you may want to strive for getting better, right? And so this truly is a tracker that keeps you on your, okay? There is an evening routine tracker in here just to make sure that you're creating healthy habits, even at the end of your day, to separate, you've got to. And so that is family connection, healthy dinners, a protein shake, right? Writing out your top 3 to 5 things that you got to do for tomorrow so you can fill up this activity for your top 5 to-dos, right? And the affirmations, if that's a wind down experience for you. I know for me, I like to cut the lights off in the evening about an hour before bed. Really try to stay off of my phone and read, but low lighting and just really chill, just so I can get myself ready for bed. Suggest the same thing for you, right? Whatever your evening routine, right? Tracking that to determine and make sure that it is being done. Whatever you track will improve. If you feel like these things truly will help to improve your overall quality of life, then you've got to track it, okay? And then how do you speak out your gratitude, right? These are just, once again, examples for you, but writing these things out and reading it and being reminded of this is something extremely important, okay? And so I want to make sure that I ground this and bring this all into um into the why does it matter, right? The why does it matter? Why does all this matter? Well, I truly believe that at our core, we are all mission-driven people. We want to do things well, and we just sometimes lack the guidance. And we are the adults, right? And so, there's this assumption that we're supposed to know everything, and we don't always do it. And then sometimes we know it and we forget, and sometimes we're just not tracking, and sometimes we're taking care of everyone else and not taking care of ourselves. This is an opportunity to keep everything in one place, whether it is your main 5 business things, personal, and things like that, because you want to achieve top level success. You want to make sure that the things that you do is on the right path and in the right order to the woman that you are looking to become, right? And so we want to keep you on that path. We want to keep you in that order. The actions that you take does that. And having a tracker, having something that you can put all into one space allows you to then be able to know exactly where to go at and pull it up and pick it up, And so feel free to play around with this tracker however you want. It's not perfect, right? What I do is I truly do copy and paste this on a regular basis, right? And sometimes I have these, the dailies all in here. So I have so many tabs, but it works for me, right? It's in my own private vault and it works for me. And it also gives me a very, 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 very good tracker to look at and identify when it comes to all of my wins at the end of the year, middle of the year, quarters, to be able to share with people, and things like that. And so it really is a good tracker, and it is a great historian. It has all of the best parts of you in it, right? The things you were thankful for, the actions you took, how well you did it, how well you persevered. Sometimes you grew, sometimes went up, down in the turbulence of life, right? It is a tracker. And so, and sometimes even, what you did from year to year, and sometimes that's going to change, right? But this tracker tells the story. And it's something that, in my opinion, has been very, very helpful to me to keep all in one space. So that is it. Let me unshare my screen. Let's see. Okay, so that is it. I hope that you enjoyed this 15, 20 minutes of action pack. Like, let's just deep dive into the action tracker to make sure that you know exactly how to use it, exactly how to get the most out of it. Hopefully you've done that. And at this point, if you haven't, and if you still have questions, feel free to ask. I will absolutely answer your questions. All right, guys. Thank you.